Arrendor is on the brink of upheaval. For centuries, the clan struggled against giants until 400 years ago, when dragons crossed the Great Sea, forcing them to unite and build the 10 Bastions. As the threat faded, the clans fractured into the 10 kingdoms, and all but the last Bastion were abandoned. As ancient calamities stir and darkness rises in the east, my 4 champions must rise up to unite the kingdoms, restore the Bastions, uncover their secrets, and stand against this darkness as a declaration of war.
Calagon Dör. I will discover the secrets of my lineage and cement my legacy as one of the greatest adventurers of all time.
Please steer in here. The migration of the dragons forced the migration of peoples and beasts, which brings death. We're all invasive species now, but I won't let us become extinct ones.
The name's Rodrick Elwood, the voice of this generation, and the greatest performer in lore. Oh, and you should see me with a bow.
And I, Arlyn Dursalai, searching for my father's sword, Trident, to bring justice to these lands. Together, we are the 4 Horsemen.
And this is Divine Inspiration.
Hello and welcome, friends and family. What's up? How are you guys? My name is Manny, and I am not the Dungeon Master. I am actually going to be the host for today's Insight Check. I know. That's not what we said we were going to do last week. That is not what we said we were going to do last week, but that's okay because Tristan had to catch the flu. And I know you're watching, Tristan. Get good. Just get better. You know? And that's okay.
Coming soon.
Since Tristan cannot make it with us, cannot make it here with us for this, I am going to host tonight's Insight Check, even though it was supposed to be next week, but we're going to do it this week because of Tristan. Okay. Everybody give it up for Tristan. Get good. No, we love you, Tristan, and we're excited that you're watching with us. And please, if you can be on chat, if anybody has questions, and if we have any questions that you can answer right on chat, I have the chat open right here just for us to communicate directly with you guys. All right, so first things first. Everybody roll an insight check.
We're gonna do it.
All right, here we go.
Ooh. I forget, do we do our character modifiers?
No,
or we
Just flat roll. I rolled a 19.
You probably got it. I was 17.
13.
I rolled a 4.
5.
There it is.
All right, so I guess I go first.
Well.
So the first question that I actually wanted to have, that I wanted to ask is,
So you
what
ask it and then I'll
is...
re-ask it so it'll feel like you're not hosting yourself.
Perfect,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
So the question is, what is your favorite moment from the last 2 months of episodes? So from Breaking the Veil and the first 3 episodes of the year that we did for the 4 Horsemen up until now, what is your, let's say, one of your top 3 favorite moments, right?
Well, Manny, if you had to go back over the last, I don't know, two and a half months, this is including Breaking the Veil and on into the main story, what would you say is maybe your favorite, if not maybe top 3, one of your top 3 favorite moments?
All right. Thank you for asking, Joel.
Scratch that.
What an
This is
intuitive
the cheesiest
question.
thing we've ever done.
What an intuitive question. Let's see. I think I had a blast DMing the disaster that was the finale to Breaking the Veil.
True.
I had a blast. The way everything came together and everything sounded insane and very destructive, that was just very satisfying for me. And we haven't had that yet in the main show. So that was really fun for me. Who had the second highest? I think it was you, Joel. So Joel, answer the question.
He did already say it. Okay, that's fair. All right. So, top of my head, I'm connecting 2 moments. One from the piercing the veil, and one from
Piercing
the
the
main
veil?
story is we kept calling it that.
Pierce the veil.
We did that. Yeah.
That's all right.
That was our fault.
Breaking the
Breaking
veil.
the veil. Breaking the veil.
Were you king for a day?
If I.
You were.
So my character was Skibbity Rizzo, and that his whole.
Forgot about
no.
Forgot about that.
And his whole deal was like he was very capable, unless of course there was a woman in the room, and then he just fell to pieces. He couldn't do anything right at all. And I liked role playing that on purpose. First of all, because we had a behind the scenes conversation with all the guys where it's just like my brother is the DM, and I have vowed I'm not gonna do any romance on this show. Cleave is an asexual character. There is nothing. You're not gonna get any of that. Sorry, audience. If that's what you come to here for, then you're not getting it from me. So, but as much as we kind of talked and joked about that we wouldn't do that, or I wouldn't. It was funny that like just then we went on to these temporary characters, and I was like, what if I just did a character who couldn't like he's trying and he just can't do it. I love doing that, and then
Except your
following
brother
up-
wasn't the DM.
and he wasn't the DM, which helped.
So that helped
tremendously,
a lot.
No, I like that being followed up by when we go back to the main story. Rodrick just naturally falls flat in that same exact way. I think that just like tickled me. Like the dynamic of that was beautiful. I really like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you for that.
I would
It wasn't
have
by
to,
choice.
It's so funny. Cleave is asexual, but he wants to conserve and have things reproduce, and
True.
so
Yeah.
it's an interesting
like,
dynamic there. But I have to agree with you, Manny, that the end of Breaking the Veil, there's just something to playing an over the top, like there's something to playing a game when there is such a ginormous creature like in front of you, or when you're faced with like a daunting task. And I don't know, like that part of Breaking the Veil was awesome. Like I knew stepping into that room and you describing what was in front of us, I knew that was going to be the end of Morjo, and that was exciting. But I have to say, my favorite role-playing part was probably Rodrick with the inn, and the dynamic of the owner of the inn, the wife and the husband. I'm pretty sure that was right. Was that the session after Breaking the Veil?
last session was the husband. The first time that we have seen the husband.
So then that was before Breaking the Veil, the first time you went into the inn?
I don't remember.
Yes.
It was
actually before we went into Breaking the Veil. The last episode was called One Good Rest. And
That's right.
that's when you guys first walked into the inn. Yes.
So I guess that bleeds over into the last session, which you met the husband, and there was that callback pretty much from that session. I think that was my favorite role-playing aspect. So Breaking the Veil ending was epic, but as far as the table banter, that was probably my favorite. Yeah.
All right, who's next?
Michael.
Yeah, yes. First and foremost, thanks for having me back, guys.
Oh, yes,
Fantastic.
everybody, welcome
I'm
Michael.
never
Thank
leaving.
you
I'm
for
gonna be here every
covering.
single week.
Literally the best
back.
guest we could ever have. He is on call at all times.
Yeah, now on all
Today.
three of the shows. At this point, he's done main campaign.
Correct.
He was in Breaking the Veil, and now
We
Inside
actually
And
have
now
Check.
you're on
we
Insight
haven't even
Check.
let him leave the studio.
Yeah, he sleeps right over there in the corner.
Ransom. Yeah, so thank you so much. So, I mean, then you deserve to be here in the Insight Check because you
thanks.
went through Breaking the Veil and you went through the last few episodes of the Four Horsemen, so it pans out perfectly. So, what have been some of your favorite moments, or at least one of your top 3 moments?
A couple. I in Breaking the Veil, I did thoroughly enjoy when Rodrick entered that chamber, and he tried at first.
Rodrick?
Or, sorry, not Rodrick. Khan. Sorry. Entered that chamber with the elf girl that was in there, and he tried to be diplomatic at first, and then it was basically the beginning of the climax, how things immediately went awry.
You know, if it wasn't for that girl, I think the veil might have not been broken.
We have no idea what would have happened.
Because I'm just saying, that moment marked Khan wanting to destroy everything.
Oh no!
It was the moment that
was
he
it?
decided to destroy
It
everything.
was a random moment too, like
Outstanding.
90% of the way through, like a good moment, you just
Yeah,
switched.
just
Well, it's because
Well,
it's because he tried to be diplomatic,
Yeah.
and he tried to be nice to what seemed like a child Tristan.
Hey, no, Tristan didn't make it. I made it.
Never mind. Manny.
Thanks.
So what's
So proud.
You know what? I'm still gonna blame Tristan. He's not here.
Just blame on Tristan.
but yeah, like it seemed like he was a child. I mean, she was a child. So he tried to be nice, which his entire character was made around not caring and being.
So it was like,
like
I
a lack of
one
mercy.
time.
Yeah,
And
a
little
lack of
happens.
mercy. So I was like, oh, you guys want the full con? I'll give you the full con, who will literally kill anything in his way, and decided to destroy the entire Veil.
Well, and then that feels like, right? You couldn't even kill the girl, and it was just like,
Dude,
they had to be like, I'm done. Everybody's dead.
Wait, do we have confirmation that she, in fact, did not die in the destroying of the Veil?
We will get into
I would
that.
love if overall she
gosh.
never. That would be so funny.
We will get into that. We will get into that.
Like he doesn't survive.
In
she
fact, I'm debating on rolling for it right now.
Do it.
Do
Hang on,
it.
And maybe
Do
not
it.
telling you guys and just telling Tristan. See
Oh,
what happens
man.
in the campaign.
I would love for Rodrick to run into her one day in our campaign and just see that conversation happen.
It would be so hard not to metagame because I hate her so much. Because she was not nice. Well, I mean, I guess she was kind of nice. I did hold her mouth and like held her from behind and like tried to suffocate her to make her fall asleep.
Yeah.
And that's when she started being mean.
She
It
tried
was
to
not
heal
legal.
you. She tried to heal you.
tried to heal.
Literally.
Yeah, but
So, anyways, let's jump right in then. Now we're getting.
Did you get your chance? Yeah, you got
What?
your chance.
moment.
Oh, okay. Go
my
ahead.
favorite
Go ahead. I
moment.
thought you were
Yeah.
done.
Well,
No, we covered all the good
We
ones.
actually kind of
Oh,
jumped in the
that's
middle
right.
of it. I'm not even sure we really got Michael.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
No,
finish
you're
your
right.
statement. We completely stole your statement.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I just got excited.
that was great.
I got excited.
I'm sorry.
That's how it
Continue,
should be. It's
Michael.
Conversations, you know. The second half is Tristan, who's not here right now, playing Hank phenomenally, as
did.
I had designed.
That was legit.
Accent and all.
Wow.
Hank's whole concept was just I wanted someone who, I mean, he wasn't very like dexterous or anything, but who could take a hit. You saw that
Yes.
when you tried to hit him there towards the end, his AC bumped up to like 27.
That
or something
was
like that.
so absurd.
Yeah, that's his whole thing is to just be able to hit and get hit.
Nice.
And it's
Brought to you by Drew Hayes.
there you go.
We're reading a book at the same time.
But yeah, so I had actually originally designed Hank just mechanically. I was like, this is what I want to do. And then when he started asking me, like, what's his personality? Like, what's his background? I panicked. I was just like, what is his personality? So working with what I had, Tristan taking over for that second half was phenomenal. Great job, man. Yeah.
Awesome.
Can
David.
I make one point really quick just off of Michael's character? I want to make a point of Michael's characters from a production standpoint. So I'm part of the production team that works on the overlays. Michael is 2 for 2 on making a character who has a name and then he changes their name.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
So the overlay stays the same.
He started with
Yeah.
Henry William Lucas IV.
Oh, he goes, Hank.
And then he's like, my name's Hank. And I'm like, it doesn't match what's on
That's
screen.
so funny.
It doesn't. And then he goes to the Four Horsemen, and he goes, my name's Flavius. And then 2 minutes later, my name's actually
Flan.
Small Custard Dessert Flan.
Personality 0, names 2.
Personality 0.
And I'm like, the second time, I'm like, I'm definitely not changing it. This is just what it's going to be.
He's just,
Yeah, no, but I
is
was,
so
I was
true.
glad you still just. I mean, obviously you had to leave Henry there, but I was like, that was his actual name. But as the other guys around him, part of his crew, they would have known him as Hank by the nickname.
Yeah.
The Flan that couldn't really be helped.
True,
It's
but
just- he was hiding.
it started something in the chat where nobody knew how to spell flan because it wasn't on the
flang.
overlay. So some people said flung, floon, flame.
did that really? I missed that whole like.
Yeah, we had fun in the chat about that.
I mean, I had problems the entire
didn't even know
session.
how to pronounce
I called
flan.
them 3 different names every time. It was flan, flan, fling. I don't remember. But
Love it.
Love it.
all right, David,
David.
you're up.
All right, my favorite moment was, and I think we talked about it. Have we talked about Breaking the Veil yet on any insight check?
No, we have not.
No, we have not.
This
Okay,
is the
perfect.
one.
So I talked about it, I guess, slightly at the end of episode 2 of Breaking the Veil, and it was just the one moment where I saw Nick's eyes shimmer when we both realized we were both gonna die today. That so
epic.
far has been my favorite moment because we talked about it like
This is a
2
positive
weeks
shimmer.
before.
This wasn't like a.
We gotta
Yeah.
we gotta find that clip and make it a
is a
short
moment
or
of
something like
inspiration.
that because I remember us looking at each other and like we
And
gave
we
like a
just
head
went-
nod and we just started laughing
We
while
were like,
everything's going
this
on.
is it. This
Yeah.
is the moment we spoke about. We made those characters to die, and
We
we
made 'em
both
to
said
die.
on the phone 2 weeks before that date, we are dying in this
We're not
campaign.
making it through. I don't care if I
not
had a
making
trip
it
on the
out.
way out of the castle. I was not leaving. Yeah.
So that was great. And then I'm trying to
Love
think. I'm trying to think from the 4 Horsemen, what my favorite. I want to say a moment that's not a Rodrick moment, because
It's hard.
You know?
Roderick has a lot of
It's
great
hard.
moments.
it's just it's fun. You know, actually, there's a lot of Rumgar and Cleave moments that I really like.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of Rumgar and Cleave moments. Like, obviously, the tier. You know, that's forever ingrained into the Hall of
that was a heavy
Fame
one.
of Divine Inspiration.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, there's the tier. What's it called? There was a moment last session when I think it was when we were getting ready to let him go. I don't remember exactly what was said, but it was also another moment where it felt very like familial with Rumgar, like, you know, you're letting your child go off, and I don't know, from the perspective of a parent, it just kind of hits me in the feels when you let your child go off into the wilderness.
We've
I
only
felt
known
real-
Rumgar for what, 3 days?
Yeah, but I feel like he's
No, we though, real life. This,
Real
No,
life,
Man-
it's
Manny's-
been like
Manny's only
7
known his
months.
son
but-
for like
the weight of this kid
I've
has
only
been weighing
known my
on my
son
shoulders.
for 4 weeks. Okay.
Good point. But did you find your son in like spider eggs or whatever it was?
yeah, exactly.
I'd feel a little different about him, but it is
I
sad though.
love
I
it.
feel like he didn't get the. I know that we're not done talking about him or bringing him up, or I'm sure there'll be times where we're like, I wonder how Rumguard is doing or whatever. Maybe get a letter, that'd be cool. But I
he
feel
doesn't
like
know how to
we
write.
didn't.
We never taught him.
I feel like we didn't give him the goodbye that we should have though.
I almost felt like that, but I what I was saying a second ago, I feel real world like weight on my shoulders about that kid. Like I like for months I'm just like, he's gonna die. This kid's gonna die. Like
Oh my God.
I'm like in a panic. By the time the last one came around where he got like disintegrated twice, I was just like, no, I can't do this anymore, man.
Almost
You know,
died.
and I felt maybe I'll have to add like another like a part 2 to the goodbye for the emotional goodbye that we kind of need. But it was just like almost like a panic. It was like we gotta keep moving on. And we can't keep bringing him with us. It was just.
How do you think?
You know what I
just
How do you think it
realized?
would have?
Yeah.
Wait, go.
How many people are we sending back to my farm?
What else did we say? Oh, well, we kinda said
Everybody we
everyone.
meet.
Everybody we meet, we send back.
That's what we should do.
We're staffing your entire farm.
Apparently, dude. My room is gonna be trashed when I get back.
If Rumgar were to have died, how would that have impacted your character?
There was a moment that I think I brought up already before, where I went a little dark, where he had been, where Rumgar had been kicked in the chest, and then we got into like a little skirmish in what's this guy's name? Starts with an R, right? Rowan.
Rowan.
In Rowan's
Rowan.
room, and then Flavius kind of disintegrated him a little bit.
Ate him. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
he just like almost ate him, and it was Cleave just hit his point where he was just like, I will kill everybody here.
Yeah, I
said
remember that moment.
I was,
That
I'll
was
kill you all
dark.
slowly, and it was not literally. Calagon would have lived, but you guys all would have died. That would have been.
Calagon would have lived, but you all
Touche.
would have died. Definitely.
Do you
No,
feel like
but-
you hold a higher allegiance to Rumgar than you do to your fellow horsemen?
I think it. Now, mind you, we've all known each other a small amount of time, except for Calagon and myself, right? So, I think the deal was just like Cleave. I think he would feel that he's learned a lot about his fellow horsemen, and not all of it is very positive, because this was more about like the situation than it was the child himself, right? It was just
Plus
like
the trauma,
how
though.
do we treat like an orphaned child that comes into our care? And it's like, do we have disregard for his life? This one person actually like attacked him on purpose. This other person that we don't have full trust for, that's a goop, may have attacked him on purpose. We don't know, you know. So that like that had more to do with like the character and like a mistrust that he might be developing. We had a really poignant moment, I think, Calagon and Cleave, where it was just like, hey, that like I'm struggling with just watching your character, you know, like just like your interactions in these moments. It was hard.
Well, I mean, originally I was like, we shouldn't bring him. It's dangerous.
Which
And
you're
then
right.
I guess I was just irritated as Calagon, irritated that we brought him. And but I feel like there's also some trauma from your past that makes you obviously feel a certain way towards innocent younger beings. So
No, and it didn't help or hurt. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but finding out that orcs and half orcs are endangered, which is my greater mission, right?
Oh yeah.
So now it's like, well, this is the future of my whole race.
Yeah.
Not only like an endangered race, but mine.
I can see. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so before we go too deep into the Four Horsemen, why don't we go in and we can cover the 2 episodes of Breaking the Veil. Now, for the people that did not get to watch Breaking the Veil, here is a quick overview of Breaking the Veil. In fact,
You want to play that theme song?
do you want to? No, I don't think we have it stacked, do we?
Nope.
We don't have it stacked.
That's all right.
That's all right. You can actually go back and watch the theme for Breaking the Veil.
Wait, do you have it written? Can you just like, can you perform it right now?
Do I?
I would love if you did like in your voice, just
Oh man, I don't know if I
run the
have
narration. That'd be kind of
it.
dope.
I will look for it. I will look for it.
Sorry, what's your thought though? What do you what were you about to say?
No, I was just gonna give like an overview of Breaking the Veil,
Oh yeah, there's something to this.
so we can go into each episode. So let me see if I have the opening script here.
That'd be so cool. I like it when any of the guys kind of pull out their character voices and just really get into like, especially something pre-scripted, right? When you just read something. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know if I have it.
Well, can we buy his time? Can we buy this time and have everybody just like perform their like regular theme song monologue? Do you guys have those written down?
What?
For Breaking the Veil?
No, he's talking about for the Four
For
Horsemen.
the Four Horsemen opening. Come on.
Listen to the tape. It's there.
You're here.
Actually,
It's like do you want to
I'll
watch
play
the
it
band
for you.
live? or
I
just, like,
remember
listen to their
mine.
soundtracks. You know?
Got
I remember
it.
mine.
Albums.
Do you know what though? Calagon's
I have
voice
it.
in
I have it.
Calagon's voice in that intro is a lot deeper than what I play with him. So
Yeah, I fall out of mine all the time.
the
It's tough.
first couple episodes I was, but the thing is I kept like hearing Arlyn and being like, me and Arlyn are the same. So I stopped doing it.
So wait, can you redo your voice for the first couple episodes? Now?
You want me to like stitch in like
No, just emulate it. Like, what were you doing?
Arlyn? I was doing Arlyn's voice.
Oh,
Yeah. Everyone knows what that is. Exactly.
Arlyn's voice.
Just talking
Okay,
deeply.
let me see. This is gonna be so bad. This is gonna be terrible.
This is fun. I like
But
that.
I am going to
I'm
do
having a good time.
the opening script.
Glad you are.
The opening script of Breaking the Veil, and see if I can time it to the theme song.
Do you have that too?
I do.
Bro, run it. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Erindor once stood united, forged in battle against giants and dragons. But as the threats faded, so did our unity. The 10 kingdoms rose from greed and war, and only 2 bastions endured: Crestview and the Veil. This is the story of when Dragos sought to break the Veil's defenses and bring forth war to Erindor. This is divine inspiration.
Let's go! What is this?
That was terrible.
You're
But
right,
I
Joel. I had
did
fun.
it.
That was good.
But I did
I had a
it.
blast.
Okay, so back to the overview. So if you didn't understand from that script right there, in the Four Horsemen, we met Iman and Vadid, right? They are the leaders. They are brothers that lead the Waking Dawn, the guild that is stationed in Rudon Village, which is where we are currently at in the Four Horsemen. Now, Iman and Vadid used to belong to the Dreadforged of Dragos. Yes, the Dragos Dominion. Now, the Dragos Dominion believed that they slowly turned into this meritocracy of power and believed that the human race, which, by the way, Dragos is only humans, that the human race was the ultimate race, and any corruption of that or anything that is not a mortal being, so elves and things like that, were enemies of Dragos. Now, part of the wars and so on and so forth, Dragos decided to try and invade the Veil. Now, a little bit about the Veil. The Veil is one of the 10 bastions, right? And at this point, it was the penultimate bastion. In the Four Horsemen, we still have one bastion left.
To last?
In Crestview. We still have Crestview. It is a neutral zone. But in Breaking the Veil, this was the second to last bastion called the Veil. And it was ran by elves and beast folk. Now they were against the Veil and wanted to break them down. The Dreadforged, for unknown reasons, but their leaders knew what was going on behind the scenes there. Anyways, to speed things up, they got to play the Dreadforged. Now, what are the Dreadforged? The Dreadforged are very special warriors that were basically defined by the equivalent of the Hunger Games. You know, essentially, that's basically what it was.
Wait, they what?
Yeah, you
okay.
didn't know that?
Oh, that's like that was the
You
the
knew
defining.
that.
Okay.
For Morjo, it definitely was the Hunger
No, I was
Games.
trying to figure out what exactly that meant. I was just I don't
No,
know.
so essentially, to become a part of the Dreadforged, you had to go through some trials. Let me see if I can open it up here. Yes, so the Dragos Dominion, you went through the Trial of Steel, right? And it is a test that tests you on endurance, your cunning, and dominance through a labyrinth and arenas and everything. And if you don't pass, you likely don't leave alive. And so these are formidable warriors created for specifically death, for battle. And some of them being dragon hunters as well, like Iman and Vadid. And they were stationed together to go and infiltrate the Veil, lower their defenses, and open up the doors for the Dragos army to go invade and destroy the Veil. So, episode 1 in Breaking the Veil is called Infiltration. So, let's open up the floor and see, what do you guys remember about that episode?
Whoa.
I remember that was the last time we were effective as a team. We did a really good job ambushing that one group, and I don't remember it ever going well from there.
Yep. So you guys got to meet the commanders, and they sent you off to go infiltrate, and you guys ran into one of the Elvish scouts and some of the part of their military that was just scouting the area around the forest around the Veil. And you guys
We're merciful.
very merciful. I don't know if that's the right word. But Iman and Vadid stepped back and let you guys do your thing and see exactly what you guys were made of and what you guys wanted to do. That was a rough battle. I think that was the most gruesome battle we've had in our show in Divine Inspiration.
Someone tried to run away, from what I remember, right?
That was
Yes.
that was the tough part of that.
Yeah, someone was trying to run away, and Hank was trying to take him down non-lethally, and like 3 people were like, I shoot an arrow in his neck. I was like, whoa, guys.
This ain't the Four Horsemen, man.
Oh,
It's breaking the veil.
Well, everybody knows that if you're going to capture one of them, you don't capture the leader.
Yeah. And you don't.
Was he the leader?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the one that was getting away was the main one.
Wait, you don't capture the leader?
No.
I actually.
That's a pretty
Oh
valuable-
yes, you're right. No, yeah, you could capture them.
No, you don't capture the leader.
I gotta reread The Art of War.
Because why would
I got it on audiobook. I don't really read, but you know.
because why would the leader rat out? They usually have more loyalty to their kingdom. You have to get the lowly
That's
one.
a nice thought,
I
but that's
played-
not how. Okay, anybody
I
who's
played
a
the
little
game
liberal
Shadow
will
of
be
War.
like, nah, bro,
I
that's
played
not
Shadow
how-
of War. If you want information from an orc, you have to find. They're called worms. They're like squirmy, gross
Okay.
little orcs,
Yeah.
and those are the ones you can convince to tell you secrets, not
All
the
right.
chieftains.
Wow. I didn't expect to learn that today, but
No. Well, anyways, you guys just killed them all.
Yes, we did.
And that's where we
Absolutely
met Skibbity's first love interest.
if you can call it that.
or in his terms, what he would have wished was his love interest. You know? I
was her
forgot
name
her
again?
name.
I could never remember.
He could never remember.
Skibbity
He called her
knew.
like
Skibbity
three different
knew.
names.
It's on my
like
notes
three
somewhere.
different names. I don't remember currently what her name was, but
She was like hardly a character.
yes, but also tell us a little bit more about that.
I'm gonna be careful on this one, but I will say, okay.
there's more.
Portions of it's just
Well,
Skibbity's
Skibbity's still
specific
alive,
role,
right?
Yeah. Skibbity's
So
specific
we
role
have to
in
be
their
careful with
military.
what we
Spoiler
say.
Yeah.
Did they end up together?
No.
Well, if you do remember, I was definitely calling her name on our way out, and I got no
I do
response, and I was like, nah, never mind. He's Skibbity Rizzo is a lookout for number one guy. To the end. That's not gonna. That's why these guys started walking across the thing. He was like, I was already like, I think I'm gonna start leaving. I think I'm just done. There's a Godzilla here, and I'm not interested at all. I'm just gonna go. Yeah, no, but his role in their military was that he's like the criminal contact guy. He's the spy kind of guy. So he had a contact in the Vale, and I'll find her name soon in a second here in my notes. But that was supposed to be her role, but of course for him it's just like it's a girl. Boy, a boy.
So yeah, so that was her role, and she's the one that basically led them out to the sewer area, where it was Iman was able to cut through the Vale's shield, the barrier, to get through and get inside of the building through the sewer system. So that is where we go into the beautiful scene that we were talking about earlier, where Khan, yes sir,
Aneira, Aneira.
Aneira.
Anira, yes, Anira.
I probably spelled it wrong, but that's what
That's
I
all
have.
right. Where Khan has that interaction with the young elf, young elvish girl, and yeah, that was very unexpected. Very unexpected. All right, so let me go a little deeper on the DM side, right? On what I thought was going to happen. Okay. I thought these guys were going to make it into the building and somehow make it to the top crystals, right? So if you guys remember, the building was one big fortress and in the ground floor, and then it had an upper floor up at the towers and the rows that connected all four towers. On each tower, there was a giant green crystal emanating magic, right? And the barrier magic inside of the Vale was coming from those crystals. That was basically what was creating all of the spectral shields, was creating all of like the protection barriers and everything. And so I thought they were going to go and be like, okay, the shields are up there. Let's take them out and see what we deal with. They were also warned that they had to watch out for the Guardian, right? So I was like, okay, maybe they're going to go out. They're going to go and, break the crystals, blah, 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 and then fight some people along the way. And the Guardian's going to go confront them, right? And they're going to have this big battle. And yay, episode 1. That is not what happened whatsoever.
Not even close.
But
That was
I'll
our
let
plan.
David continue saying specifically what happened.
Well, I will say, you said you thought it was going to happen a certain way, but you put the Guardian right at our door.
Okay,
You put the
no.
girl there, you put the guardian
Yeah,
at
I
the
was
door.
gonna ask.
And even if we got upstairs, there were people up there we had to
Can I?
fight.
Yeah.
of
Can I?
course.
Can I pose a question back at you for this moment?
Go for it.
When you envisioned that, how did you see that happening? Like what would our path have been in your mind that got us to that version of events?
Yeah.
So I was expecting some sort of stealth infiltration mission.
Yeah.
Right. You would have scoped out the place, figured out that because we had the northeast, southeast. They were basically that's where the
Yeah.
towers were. Well, directly north, directly south, there were 2 staircases, essentially ladders, that you were going to make your way up, and you were going to fight off these people that were up there to one by one try and get through these crystals. Which is okay, because what happened was that... Okay, let me explain myself a little bit about the Guardian walking up to your door, like you said.
Yeah.
When Khan decided to confront this girl, right? This girl clearly had a very important green emanating orb, right? Like green magic emanating orb at her hand. And she hit it immediately when Khan entered through those doors, where she was compassionate towards him and tried to heal him, right? The moment you became aggressive towards her...
Define aggressive.
Define aggressive. I mean, trying to hold her hostage and put her to sleep in a chokehold.
The kidnapping attempt. That's probably where it went a
Chokehold is
little...
stealthy, I thought.
Yeah, you can
No,
kidnap peacefully.
I do agree
I
with
thought
that.
it was stealthy.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I will say I think we were on board with your vision. I think we were on the same
Yes.
page. I think we went in there. We did scope out. We did get a good idea of like, okay, this tower has the science experiments going on where something just kind of exploded or whatever.
Correct.
This other area is very heavily fortified with a lot of people. I think we did zero in on which tower had
Was the Guardian's room.
Guardian in
Yes.
it. Yeah. And then the one building that we decided to infiltrate from, what we did was we
the study.
used
Yeah.
the science experiment as a way to evacuate the study.
Correct.
So we got everybody to leave. The only person left was one person that looked like a non-combatant. So we figured if we just silence her. So he went in really quick, put his hand over her mouth, and tried to just like I guess.
I was
put her
trying to be
unconscious.
merciful. I was
Yeah.
trying not to kill her.
Yeah.
So,
So
here's
we
the thing.
We thought we thought we
So
were on the page,
you-
but this
yes.
is where it went awry. There was a detail we didn't know.
Correct.
And you did make me aware of this.
There
Yeah.
are details that you don't know, which I think is very important in any tabletop role-playing game campaign that you understand.
Yeah, the detail was that
That-
she was a full-grown woman.
No.
There was that. There was that. Also, I want to add that I misunderstood how fox like the foxy whatever.
No.
I forgot about that.
Foxy lady.
Skibbity Rizzo would never.
Oh,
She was
my
an
God.
actual fox.
That's why Khan asked me. He's like, "Really? Even that?"
No, he is a true to his ideals racist. He would never. Don't put that on him at all.
Wait, was that explained to the viewer? The fact that
Okay,
Dragos is racist?
Oh yeah.
That was
I
kinda what he was
That
saying,
a
right?
meritocracy
Yeah.
that basically believes that the human race is the ultimate race.
Yeah, they're human supremacists.
They don't like, human supremacists, essentially. They don't like anything that is an abomination to, or mutation of the human race,
To
or
bipedals.
any immortals or whatever,
And I think it went off the rails, right? The idea is that originally they just didn't like anybody who extended their lives unnaturally, and
Yes.
over the course of years, like people lost sight of the point of that, and they just regular prejudice abounded.
Yes, correct. The leaders, the newer leaders that were taking over Dragos started going in a direction that was not part of their original beliefs, where Iman and Vadid were part of those original beliefs, and that is why they disagreed with a lot of like the route of what was going on in Dragos, and ultimately left. Yeah, essentially, they weren't just a bunch of racists before. They would never prey on the weak. They
And And we love that. That's like our favorite pastime. That was the Skibbity and
Yeah,
Con
that's literally what they wanted to do.
Frame
But they
of
wouldn't
week.
pray
That's
for
what we're here
game.
for.
You know what I mean? They wouldn't pray for game. Just, they would purge for necessity, thing, so on and so forth. But they wouldn't pray for game. But also they believed that just mortals were meant to be protected, but that meant also dragonborn. That
Right.
meant, half orcs and so on and so forth. And little by little, that ideal got a little twisted, right? In their politics and therefore the overall ideals. But anyways, back to that young acolyte girl. Yes, she was a young elf, but what is a young elf? I mean, an elf doesn't really reach full maturity until 100 years old, right? And so she was a young elf, doesn't mean that she wasn't formidable in magic and had proper status.
Wait, so
within
did she
the Vale.
not claim elvish adulthood yet, though?
She was, yes, but she was
She was
like,
over 100.
She was over 100, but she
Ah,
was
yeah, you
just
really got
barely out, right?
I would have.
If they would have made her 99 years old, we still could have been like, yeah, well, she was a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
No, she was over
Fine
100. She looked very young. Yes.
So,
But here's the thing.
if Khan knew that it was a full-grown woman, he would have killed her.
Okay, great. And the guardian would have still showed up at the door. And here's why. Because when you're playing a TTRPG, and this is for the viewer that is thinking of playing a campaign or something like that, remember that the world has rules that you may not be aware of too. And different locations and different people and cultures may have rules that you're just not aware of at all. And something that Dragos was not aware of is that there is amongst all the leaders of the Vale, they were all telepathically linked.
They got the Renegon.
So you picked the wrong girl because she was actually the one that was in charge of the care as an acolyte of the beast below.
Yeah, but we didn't pick the girl. You put her in there.
She was in the study with the rest of the mages.
Okay.
I didn't know they were.
She's super fast too. I tried to chase her up a ladder, and she
yeah.
just
She was gone.
light on her feet.
So yeah, what was tricky about that is he then held her hostage, and I was like, she has no aggressive spells. So the only thing she could do is hold person and run. That's it.
It's pretty aggressive.
She did that well.
That's kind of what I tried to do, and you marked it as aggressive.
She only did it in self-defense, okay? She did it in self-defense.
I just can't cast hold person. I'm a barbarian. I can do hold person.
Well, yeah. But the moment that, some sort of attack, right, was triggered against her, the link went out to the Guardians.
You
Right?
just opened my eyes to the fact that I'm definitely gonna make a character one day that's just like a lonely wizard that casts hold person on themselves because nobody holds them.
That's the worst. Poor guy.
Dude, if only I could exist in Joel's mind when he creates characters.
When he makes characters.
They're all born from
hilarious.
just one little idea like that, and I'm just like, that's a character.
That's
so funny.
hilarious.
He never knew his father.
Aside from that, that is the end of episode 1 of Breaking the Veil, where the Guardian shows up at the door, right? And then it moves on to Veil of Secrets, which is part 2 of this 2-shot, where we had that fight against the Guardian and the Guardian's Marshal, right? Where the first thing, well, actually, before you guys even went into that room, Iman and Vadid split from the party, saying they were going to go downstairs and try to find the leaders that were within the chambers downstairs. And so the moment they reached the leaders, that telepathic link went off, which is the beginning of episode 2, where the Guardian, all of the military that was basically coming towards you, right, and that was bunching up behind him, he got the link that, the leaders are in trouble. So he sent them all off to go fight downstairs while he said he could take on the Dreadforged. Now, he took you guys on pretty well until Iman had to show up and help you guys quite a bit. He couldn't hit you, Michael. He couldn't hit Hank.
I wasn't there I had to run back down.
True,
It
yeah.
was
True,
four
Mojo
turns
decided to
just
run
get
upstairs.
to everything.
Mojo
was
decided
just
to
running.
run upstairs and was like, there's more people here?
Yeah, and
I'm
I
out.
attacked and then ran back down. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, but anyways, when you guys all ultimately defeated as a group the Guardian and you left him unconscious, Iman told you not to kill him. What was that? What went through your heads, at least playing the Dreadforged, where you know, I'm going to kill this Guardian, I'm going to break this veil, and that was part of the mission. When Iman, after he's basically telling you guys, oh, we don't pray on the weak, we don't blah, 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 all this stuff the entire time, Iman and Vadid, and Iman tells you, don't kill him. I know Khan had a little bit of issues with that.
I just thought it was a test,
Okay.
kind of like a test of our loyalty to him and our ability to be controlled by him, almost like a master of puppets controlling his crazy little killers. That's so I was willing to play along, also because he probably would have one-shot me.
He would have.
That's
So-
funny. I thought the opposite.
Yeah, I was gonna. You thought the opposite?
Yeah,
I mean-
because Morjo wasn't very bright, so obviously we're trained to this point to kill and to get, so if he was doing that, there had to be some big reason behind it
Yeah.
that obviously Morjo was not smart enough to understand.
I mean, obviously, Morjo was the smartest one to understand what was really the reason. But anyways, what were you going to say, Joel?
I feel like we as a group, we must have had mixed feelings on this moment because, like, when you say we as a group took these guys down, that's thank you for being very generous because we didn't do squat. It felt like we got wrecked.
Yeah.
We got beat up so good, and you saved us with Iman coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And
It was a good idea though to get the sword away from him.
yeah, I feel like I had an okay amount of early on success there, but of course he had his legendary resistances, so he could just say like, "Oh, never mind, I succeed
Sure.
at that."
Yeah.
But I was like killing myself, just like grabbing onto his like hurt other people armor that he had.
True.
So we had some okay success. Anyway, he did it. So on one hand, we have like the sore loser factor where it's like we just got beat up. I want to kill that guy.
Yeah.
What do you mean don't kill him? He just messed us up. And then on the other hand, it's just like, well, Iman's telling us not to kill him, and honestly, he did everything. Like, it's his kill. If he doesn't want to take it, like,
Good point.
whatever, man.
Good point.
Yeah. Michael,
That was a tough
I know
one.
you weren't there, but you were watching.
Yeah, no, and again, shout out to Tristan because he had called me the day before and we spoke extensively about Hank and his background and his personality. And Tristan asked me like, how would he react in this situation? What would we do about this? How does he feel? And Hank is even though he's a newer, Dreadforged, his family is more from the old government. So he was raised and brought up in the old ways. So his values kind of align more inherently with Iman and Vadid's. So
I see.
So when he came back and said, "Hey, don't kill that guy," or even before then, when we had faced the people in the woods,
Yes.
and they were saying, "Hey, only kill if you have to. Don't pick on the weak." He's taken every bit of that very seriously. And even though he has his he has his commitment to his government, his military, his peoples, he was still much more inclined to follow those leaders that he trusted, that already again had those values, that he
For
had.
sure.
And so when they came back and had said that, he was like, okay, absolutely, like no more killing. And especially after seeing like when we went downstairs too and we saw the bodies. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to disobey these guys. Like, he came, just decimated this guy that we were struggling with.
Yeah.
And now, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at the carnage.
Yep.
And so he was absolutely all for it. And that's why when it came to that time, to like either bail or just try to get myself killed, Hank was about leaving,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, definitely Morjo was not. But that makes a lot of sense. Tristan did a great job. And he told me that you guys talked extensively as well, like you said, about what would Hank do in this situation or in that situation. So here's the thing is, originally Michael was supposed to join us for episode 2, and Tristan and I were supposed to co-DM the Breaking the Veil finale, where we both would have been on this screen. And we both would have played, I would have played Vadid and he would have played Iman. So that's the thing is, Tristan knew everything that was going to happen. Half of it was his ideas. Yeah. You know, that we collaborated on this whole world and this whole region. And so he already knew what was going downstairs and all that. And so when he talked to you, I think he told me he was a little bit discreet to not spoil things, but he was asking real questions like, if this were to happen, what would you do? If this were to happen, what would you do? And I think he played really well according to exactly what you said Hank would have done, right? Which is stick with Iman and Vadid, who were his elected leaders, right? And just follow the command, essentially, and defeat whatever's in the way, right? Yeah. And so, Iman had a very, very good reason, of course, for that. And in my initial plan, if you guys were going to be at the crystals and you would have gotten to crystal number 4, Iman would have come out and told you guys to stop. Because if that 4th crystal would have broken, the beast would have woken up. Yeah.
I think he would have had a much harder time getting us to stop breaking the 4th crystal than getting us to stop killing the Guardian.
Probably.
I agree.
Because you guys you would have been on a binge of
this is our
breaking
mission,
crystal
and we've
1,
already been
crystal 2, crystal 3.
Yeah, and if we survived 3 crystals, the 4th one is getting broken.
You would have had a harder time getting out from upstairs. Well, you wouldn't
and
have
I wouldn't
wanted to get out anyways.
That's the problem.
Skibbity wouldn't have looked at a 4th crystal and been like, it's time to get out of here.
Yeah, true.
As soon as we walked downstairs, like, nah.
Yeah. So
I'm okay.
So I think that scene, to me, and that was on the fly because I didn't know exactly what to do, and I was also trying to control pace and so on and so forth. When the Guardian was defeated, which the Guardian was specifically put there to protect the Bastion, I think that's really important to understand. That is why he's so powerful. He was so powerful. His CR was way higher than yours. Way higher. And he was so powerful because he was meant to protect that fortress. Period. Not the leaders, not anything. The fortress was his command. And so, also, he wasn't able to pin the fortress's magic on you guys because you were in that room the whole time. If you were out in the open field, there would have been other lair actions that would have taken place as well. But when the Guardian was finally put down, and Iman was like, don't kill him, take him, and you guys were able to intimidate the Marshal to walk you guys downstairs, then you saw what happened downstairs. So if we go behind the scenes on exactly what was going on while you guys were fighting upstairs, Iman and Vadid went down to go and defeat the leaders, the 3 leaders of the Veil, and they slaughtered everyone. That was their duty. They slaughtered the innocents, everyone that was there that was meant to die because that was their job. And then they killed the leaders, and as they are fighting the leaders, then comes an entire army of the Veil, sent by the Guardian, that Vadid had to hold off, and Vadid essentially crushed them all. And that's why there was just massacre everywhere as Iman ran out, because they had already gotten to the lower floor and seen what exactly was going down. And so they ran out to see you guys. But as soon as the Guardian went down and they were walking you towards those lower levels, I had to do this on the fly, where everybody at the higher towers was just watching you, almost like knowing exactly that we were all doomed, essentially. Everybody was doomed. if we get down there and that thing wakes up, like, that's it. There's no point in fighting. And it was just eerie and quiet as you guys walked down that main courtyard into the lower levels to see the bodies of all these military personnel. And then they took you to the lower levels where you saw the body of a sleeping primordial beast. Did I tell you guys the name of this beast?
You did say a name.
Yeah.
I remember.
Don't remember.
It was Udthalak.
Yeah.
Yes.
Udthalak. And this beast had the power that the veil was pulling from, right? And that was what was keeping it asleep, is pulling that power from this beast. And the moment that everything went awry and, you know, the guardian and that link was completely severed, the beast began to wake until Khan, right, decided, and Morjo following him, decided to grab the guardian's sword and try to open the doors through the key, because the sword was the key to the veil. By the way, the sword is called Aegis Fang.
You know, I was
Those
hoping to
tiny
become the
little
new guardian
details.
at that moment.
Yeah, Khan wanted to be the new guardian, but wasn't gonna happen that way. And so, when you opened the doors, and you heard the armies rushing in from Dragos, and the war going on upstairs while this beast was awakening, just completely destroying everything in its path. We already discussed Iman and Vadid, Skibbity, and Hank. They got out, but Morjo and Khan wanted their victory moment of fighting this beast, where you guys died with the first hit. But in glory,
It's a time to skibby this town.
No.
but
Joel.
to wrap up Breaking the Veil, we have to understand that going into our main campaign, Breaking the Veil happened 1 year prior to the main campaign. So this beast is still out there as you guys
buddy.
watch destroy the entire fortress and everyone in it. And I will actually roll to see if the Acolyte survived. And we
Don't
will
tell us.
see.
Just dramatic. Roll it. Hold up. Roll it in this.
I'm going to roll it in here.
Okay, somewhere loud next to your mic so everybody can hear it, but
Here we
nobody
go.
sees it. Look at his face. Look at his face. Everybody read his face.
Manny rolls so bad.
Yeah, I know.
She's
definitely dead.
gone.
She's definitely
No
dead.
chance. No chance.
You guys
she's
want to
alive.
know?
Yeah.
No, the whole point was you don't. Nah, come on. I like surprises.
Plug your ears.
I'm a
If
Christmas
she's
Eve,
alive,
baby.
if she's
I
alive,
like surprises.
if she's alive, it would mean that we're able to tame the beast if we find the acolyte.
Do you think so?
She was in
Maybe.
charge of taming the beast.
That'd be nice. That's a nice thought.
But if she is dead, then
Cleave is the one that tamed the bee.
Cleave
Wait a minute.
Fine.
is
Aha.
How is she able to tame that? I thought she was just part of like the, you know.
well, her magical powers.
She's connected to the Guardian.
No.
Maybe there's a chance that
I
she
don't
would
think-
actually could.
She was connected as one of the higher ups in the Veil, and
Yeah.
her job was to care for the beast.
That's right. That's right.
Right, so not necessarily tame the beast, because
Yeah, but maybe the beast has a
Or maybe they're
soft
tight.
heart to her.
Yeah.
Oh, like King Kong.
Yeah,
Yes,
like King
dude.
Kong.
Maybe she's the blonde girl from King Kong.
Yeah.
King
Okay.
Kong to that guy.
Is she alive?
I will keep my mouth shut from this point on this. But the final scene,
We know she's-
visualizing, man,
she's-
and I still want to create an image of this, but visualizing all of you watching from the hill, the destruction of the Veil with this beast. It was such a good ending to that two shot. I think it happened better than anything that I had planned for it. So that wraps up Breaking the Veil. Breaking the Veil. What's
I
up?
actually have a question. Oh, yeah. Ooh, you're right. Do that first.
Yeah.
Questions.
I actually do have a question. With that being such like the Bastions being such a significant role, it might be a question for Tristan, I don't know, such a significant role in the world, having only happened a year before the beginning of this campaign, is this something that the Four Horsemen have potentially heard of as a world event?
I was going to ask that.
Happening, is...
Like, do my parents know about a primordial being roaming the countryside? I don't know. Like,
That would
Probably
be
a
a
Tristan
Tristan
question.
question.
Yeah.
That would be a
That
Tristan question.
immediately popped into my head because I know it was supposed to be a covert mission,
Mhm.
but the Bastions, from my understanding, were well known,
Yes.
throughout the land. So for one to fall in such an extravagant way as well.
Yeah, but I'm sure that a lot of things. Well, when things happen that are this big, they kind of fall to rumors and stuff.
True.
So
That is
some people
true.
are gonna believe that it was destroyed by that. Some people are just gonna believe that Dragos tore it to
Overtook
shreds.
the veil. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This thing is a mountain flattener. Like,
Yeah, but did you meet Khan?
Stop. Stop.
I feel like Arrendor would have let us know a little bit about that too. Like,
Arrendor didn't
Yeah,
let us
you-
know anything.
he didn't let us know.
I feel like Aragorn could have
He
at
was like,
least
"Good luck."
told us how to get off the cliff.
That's so
yeah,
funny.
right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Frankly,
He did it.
he might be the worst Charlie to Charlie's Angels. And
Creepy
he doesn't even
dreams that
phone
hurt.
in. He doesn't even phone in, dude.
Right.
We got
He
nothing.
phoned
Yeah,
into
just-
Arlyn.
At least
and then
Gandalf
he
came back
was
every now and then.
painful.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Arlen doesn't tell us what he tells him. So like
I'm currently listening
Arlen's
to the Hobbit on
not
Love it.
Arlen's not a good, what's her name? Cindy Lou either.
What?
Cindy Lou.
Whoever the
Cindy
leader is
Lou
of the
who?
Charlie's
What?
Angel.
Cindy Lou from the Grinch.
Okay, wait. We're close. You were close. Hold on.
Lucy Lou?
What did Lucy Lou?
Lucy
Yeah,
Lou.
Lucy Lou.
There you go. That's what it is.
Well.
That one got Hobby.
Well, that leads us directly into the Four Horsemen.
I have a question about the Four Horsemen.
Go for it.
How many?
Kind
are
of like
there?
a theory. It's not really a question. It's
Real
a
question.
theory. Do you guys believe that Rumgar was placed by Arrendor as the first test to the Four Horsemen?
No.
No? You think
Like,
it just
he
happened
put
by
him-
chance?
What do you mean by
I
place?
think
Like,
it-
got him caught by spiders?
If that was the case, it would have been more of a here he is. Because we had full control over the option. And not even we weren't even
What are the odds that a small orcish child was in that cave?
wasn't there something else in the cave that we could have found that
a
we
horse?
didn't? Wait, what?
There was, right?
No,
Yeah.
yeah. In the spider egg area or the spider area.
Yeah,
right?
a horse.
I think there
Was
was
it a
in
horse?
one of them.
Yeah.
There was a horse, I
Yeah,
believe.
But it
Tristan
didn't
said
speak
there was a
when
horse.
we asked if there was anybody there, so we didn't know.
Oh.
Tristan says the first tests were within the dungeon already beforehand.
There you go.
We
I gotta get my chains back to my dad.
We need to replay these because I can't remember everything that happened in that dungeon. And I know that it's so significant, specifically to he's made it known specifically to my character that whatever we encountered, I need to have a phone call with him.
Who?
Tristan, yeah.
Go for it.
He needs to refresh my
Might be
memory.
easier to, just ask him. Hey, what?
Oh, you
I
mean
will.
everything right now?
Yeah, here, we'll call him up.
Yeah,
right
call
now.
him and put him on the mic.
Yeah, no.
Are we going to call him?
No.
No, we'll let him. He's sick. We'll let that guy. If
He's
if
chatting
he'll
actually
talk.
on
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
So,
His voice
but
is
anyways, Tristan has one question that goes out to Mr. Elwood.
Okay, go.
Of course, the star.
Oh, he asked, huh?
What in the world was the goal with the turtles?
Oh,
Yeah.
so he had seen, and he was actually. It was only him, and who else was down there with him? Was it Cleave? I think it was
Yes.
him and
Yeah,
Cleave
yeah.
are the only ones that had seen that the blob that was there, that Cleave then threw into the water, liked to try to devour the turtles. So his goal with the turtles was to try to chuck it like a dog and have it chase the turtle so that we can get away.
That's so funny.
Oh no.
Poor
That's
turtles.
so. You think Cleve would have wanted that?
He thought it was just
Cleve would
He
hate
wasn't,
that idea,
think-
but I know.
he wasn't thinking what Cleve would have wanted at that
That's
moment.
so funny.
Poor turtles.
Would he?
Poor turtles.
another
So
thing
let's
we'll never
talk
know.
about it. Let's talk about it. So first episode of the year was called The Wizard of Oz.
I like that title. Congratulations to David for thinking of that. That was phenomenal. That was great.
The Wizard of Oz. So
Do you want to explain what wizard means to the people? Because
D-
I had
it just
zero
means
clue.
the disguise.
Yeah.
So Oz was the merchant, the shopkeep of Rudon Village, who was, in Rodrick's opinion, I guess, at the time, he was actually a villain disguised as a shopkeep who was capturing and like kidnapping and like imprisoning beings
Yeah.
against their will inside of a dungeon below his shop.
It's weird that Rodrick always thinks everything is like a lie. It's kinda
Conspiracy
crazy.
theorist guy. I like that.
He is super
That's like his
conspiracy.
role. Yeah, he's a conspiracy theorist. I like that a lot.
Well, how can you create the most dramatic songs? You need to have the most dramatic way of looking at things.
yeah, that is very true. So yes, upon waking at the inn, right? Arlyn is acting a little bit weird, and the adventurers decide to start on their mission when this strange-looking orc walks through the door. Now, was he meant to be a half orc or a full orc? I think a half orc, right?
It was half orc, yeah.
He was supposed to
Half-orc.
be
Supposed to be.
Cleave.
Yeah, supposed to be a weird version of
the
Cleave.
General, like, right?
Yeah. No, he's being in that grate when you guys were standing there for, talking to Oz and whatnot. He heard a good bit of your conversations. And so there just happened to be something that you guys said that aligned with something that he wanted. So he's like, yeah, what a better way to make friends than to just kind of like be one of them. And so he just kind of did his best to look kind of like Cleave. He was the one that most already resembled him in color. So
Nice.
he was
Makes
just
sense.
like, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna just be that guy, and that's what came out of it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah. So this weird sounding, looking half orc guy, right?
Sound effects even better than just regular voice. He really went for it on just like little like and like little things like that.
Yeah, it was really nasty. He was in a rush to get a room at the inn. He's in a rush. What can you let us know? Why was he in such a rush to get
He
into the
needed
room?
sugar water, right?
Real quick note before that, there was a real chance he almost took up Arlyn's race. That was very real. I considered it for a while. I was like, wow, but
Huh?
yeah,
That would have been wild
just for the fact that
because
like,
it doesn't
you seemed-
exist.
Well,
Exactly.
It would have been very obvious he wasn't a real person.
Yes.
We would have been
Well,
just
it's
having
just
a
like-
conversation, then everyone just stop and
Like,
stare
there's
at
that
this
what
guy that
another
looks like Arlyn walk by.
Yeah, his thought process really was just Arlyn seemed more like the one that was in charge. So he's like, yeah, maybe I'd take that form, but then green. So
Then
greenish.
green.
Green.
He was a green. Sorry, what was your question?
No, I love that. I love that actually. That would have been
Green
really
is a really
interesting
great
if he
thought
took on
process.
Arlyn's race. So the question was, why was he in such a hurry to get into a room or a bathroom?
Yeah, disguise self was running out. Yeah,
That's what I figured.
That's really what
that makes so much
all it
sense.
was. After he had escaped to the surface, he was just trying to find somewhere to go. But with Oz very quickly realizing that he was gone, he's like, all right, I got to do something. And he was just trying to he found out about an inn, and he was like, all right, with my 4 copper pieces, I'm going to get a room. I'm going to do something. He doesn't really fully understand currency, but
Is that something you learned or something that your race knows just generally how
What's
to
that?
do? Disguise self.
that is something that he specifically knew how to do.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Through being what he is, or from observing and learning, or
just from being what he is.
Okay. So every one of your races can disguise itself into anything.
Not necessarily. It's just so his he doesn't very clearly. He doesn't know a lot about what he is currently.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Arlyn.
Yeah.
It's like all of
Just
us.
like Arlyn. Just like
all of us, kind
everybody.
of, except for Cleave.
As you guys kind of saw later on, not skip too far ahead, but he gained some knowledge back after reabsorbing a piece. So it just in that short time, that he was up and about, he was just kind of figuring things out. That's why he didn't start, as Oz kind of said before, he didn't start as intelligent as he was. He just kind of started off as a blob, and given enough time, he learned and kind of experimented with things and was kind of figuring out his own powers. Yeah. But we saw how he tried to hug someone, and he had never done that before, and then almost dissolved them. So there's still just a lot he didn't know.
Gotcha.
I have 2 questions. Is Flan a villain?
Hold on, I don't know if we can answer that, man. He's still around.
You don't have to answer it. And my second question is, how did you escape Oz's dungeon?
The first question, as far as anyone, nobody honestly tried to insight him in those moments, but as far as anyone could tell, he was being completely straightforward when he was saying that his goal, his mission was to unite the peoples. He doesn't even fully understand why he feels such compassion and wanting to bring people together, but he just knows that's kind of his purpose.
Sounds like the beginning of an evil villain. Sounds like
Yes.
the arc that an evil villain eventually.
What's his
I also
version
like
of bringing
the-
people together? Inside of him?
I was gonna say I kind of like the irony there of that's what he wanted to do on a social scale, but that's also what he did by just absorbing his son. He brought people together. He did it. That's his
The
thing, man.
Thanos effect.
His grandson.
His grandson, his son is the one he's
His son
chasing.
is still
He's chasing his
out
son.
and about. And the second one, he eventually, even though it was really slick down there in that sewer grate, he eventually started again with experimenting with his powers and whatnot. He could extend a pseudopod from his body. So even though it was 20 or so feet down, as he started climbing up, eventually he was able to just get that pseudopod to the grate to anchor himself and worm his way up the rest of the way, and then just
There it is.
squish through.
Blobs 101.
Venom,
Squish
kind
through
of?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a symbiote.
Yeah.
Well, great. Anyways, so after that,
If I ever get immune to acid damage, I'm gonna use him as a symbiote.
yeah,
That'd be amazing.
That's kind of cool.
So, what happens after that? So after that, where you finally feel better, and remind me exactly. After that, I believe you guys go off to meet up with Oz, right? Or Oz comes into the inn to talk to you guys. First off, the weird jokes about Oz were really funny too. When it was have you seen a weird creature coming in here? Well, it's yeah, I'm
That's
kind of
right,
looking at him
that's
now.
right.
That was really funny. That was really funny.
He's a talking rat. What do you expect?
Basically, yes.
Drago's behavior.
And then you guys make your way into his shop, where how did that all go about?
How
No.
we made our
Anybody
way to the
remember?
shop? We've been
No.
trying to get these saddles for 3-4 sessions
So
already.
long.
But wait a minute.
The compromise, the haggling, the robbery, whatever they can do. No,
But
that's not even
that
the
was
word.
all before.
Burglary.
I thought we went straight to talk to somebody about Oz. And then
That's
Oh!
right. That's right.
yes,
We went to Vadid
yeah,
to try to convince him.
that Oz was doing bad things.
Correct, Oz was doing bad things, and we
Yeah.
actually went with Vadid to Oz's shop.
Yes.
And Vadid decided to turn back because Oz is a friend of the guild.
That guy.
And he trusted him.
What a loser!
What a corrupt cop he
Yeah.
is, honestly. He took the payoffs and he just said,
That's
well,
when we
this guy does
realized
business with
that
us.
we need to actually infiltrate the Waking Dawn
Yeah.
and take the guild from Iman and Vadid. So that's
Really?
next episode.
We're going to have to. Yeah, that's it, man.
Next episode.
We're going to keep sending them on missions, and it's actually just to divide and conquer. We'll just split them up.
Oh.
Really?
We'll hire them, and then we'll just like, that
Well,
guy's
yeah.
out.
So we took him there. He decided to go home because he was a little tired baby, and then we said, you know what? We don't need Vadid.
Yep.
Rodrick can be Vadid. He can become Vadid.
True.
Right? So then we decided to split up. Remember, and it was Calagonius and Rodrick that decided to go into the shop and take the saddles.
No, we took the saddles before all of this.
No.
We wanted to take the saddles before all this.
Yeah, but we're talking about when Vadid went back, and then we went back in.
Because Oz was looking
We just
for
went
Flan.
to investigate.
Flavius.
Oz was looking for Flan. Yeah, we were supposed to investigate the crate, but then I said, while you're in there, get the saddles, but also pay for them. Because we're good, just people.
Yeah. Well, from what I remember, you went down. I stayed up with Flan, and then you called me to go down, and I tried to get.
No,
No,
you're thinking
we both
further
went
ahead.
down.
You're thinking much further ahead.
Really?
Yeah, we're still in the part right now where Oz is looking for Flan,
Yeah.
and then it's just Calagon and Rodrick at the shop. Calagon goes in. Rodrick says, "Leave the however much it costs for the saddles while you're there, and then take them." And then you said, "Well, the saddles didn't have a price." And then I said, "I don't know, leave like 2 gold each or something."
And then he
No,
tries
that's right.
to take them from us.
I want to tie
Yeah,
that
because
to
you had
that-
gotten the dragon fruit.
That again.
Tried
That
to
was
take the saddles
that
and
was
then
before.
ran into Oz.
No, that's where we're at right now, in talking about it.
I thought that was from a session before. I already had the smoke in a glass. I already had
Right, and the fruits.
The fruits already, even when we met him. So after he went back to the guilds, me and you went down. Arlyn stayed with him, and then we went down and investigated. And then I actually went up to like get him to come back down, and that's when I tried to like push him or something or I tried to force breath him,
Yeah.
which was a mistake.
No, I
There
see
were
what
so
you're
many
saying, though,
times
'cause
we
I-
went back and forth from his shop, and I don't even remember.
He
Well,
went
can-
back
can
and
I-
forth so
Flan
many
was
times.
the
Can I
one-
get us out of the weeds? Oh, wait, hold on. Go ahead.
I was about to say, Flan was the one that told you guys about the dragon fruit. Because when you guys
Right.
had started interrogating me and you told me to stand in the net and it came straight through me, you guys,
is true.
said that I
Correct.
belong to the
So
Horsemen
this is
now.
our first trip.
Yeah, and I told you
after
guys
meeting
about the
Flan.
dragon fruit.
I thought Oz told us about the dragon fruit.
Because Oz was out and about.
Oz
He was-
had told us about the dragon fruit as well.
He told us that he had them or whatever, but Flan was the one that told us like that they were in there and you could get them.
Huh.
I just
I want
remember
to
that-
actually tie this really
that
fast.
I was
Wait a
supposed to
minute.
keep
Question.
lookout. I was supposed to keep lookout, and then Oz was there, and then I ran to Oz, tried to get the whole town
yes.
on him.
That's right. That's right.
So
My bad.
I just wanted to. I want to connect us from the thoughts of like, we don't know how much the saddle's worth. Leave it like 2 gold or whatever. I want to connect the hat to our at the time Flavius. 4 copper, of course, doesn't know the value of money. That's totally fair. I think I understand where that's coming from. What I don't know where it's coming from is the 4 copper. Where did that come from? Where'd you get just 4
pocket
copper?
change. Falling into the grate.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I like that. That's
People,
so real.
people walking by and he's like, oh, look. And he just kept it.
That's a great touch.
Money.
Yeah. He had 4 copper. That was it.
That's all the money in his
That
world.
is great.
Yeah, he
That's how you
figured,
get
he's
it.
like, this is everything I own.
Are
Like,
there
this
any-
has to be worth something.
Are there any fountains
Take
in
it.
Rudon?
I don't know. That's a Tristan question.
We're not going to find out
Tristan.
because we are leaving.
Yes,
Next session, we are not staying in there.
We are leaving.
Yeah, but apparently we have to. Our sandwalkers have to get trained, right?
I don't want to think about that right now. So you're right. We did go to like the gate, like we were about to leave. Then we had this conversation, and that's when me and you went to get the saddles. Then he tried to take them, or he took them back from us, right? And then we went
Yes.
back and we're like, we got to figure out, or we need help against Oz. That's when we went to the headquarters. Gotcha. So I did blank on that little bit.
well,
but,
ultimately, you guys ended up in the sewers.
Yeah.
Ended up in the sewers.
Yes, we did.
And you,
After I almost died, though.
yes.
Remember, I tried
Remind me about that.
That was significant.
Well, after Vidid left, again, we went and like looked around, and then I had questions for him. I think like I was getting skeptical. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I went back up, and I was like, "Come down. We have to ask you something." And you're like, "I'm not going down there." And I started getting more skeptical, like, why doesn't he want to go down there? I get it, it's where he's, but like, we're not gonna leave him down there. I just need answers and stuff. And that's when I tried to force him to go down there, and then he downed me.
And then he made you hear a bunch of voices, whispers.
Yeah.
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 Which was there's two major moments in this that between the two episodes that utterly shocked me. One, and I was devastated, almost taking out Rumgar. That hurt Michael. Yeah. Like I was absolutely. I was like, I come as a guest, and then I just destroy a child. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And then the other one was taking you down because I was not anticipating. Like I said that day, I rolled on 3d6 like 2 5s and 2 or something like that. Yeah, I rolled 12 damage. And,
And then you ran away, and then Arlyn went and took care of
then
business.
I got beat up. Yeah, it was so fast.
Yeah.
I thought I could survive. I was like, yeah, I'm getting out of here.
I'm not gonna lie, Calagon's my friend, and I'm Calagon loyal, but he deserved everything he got, and you deserve none of what you got. That was so bad. I understand where this goes down though, right? So like Calagon's breath weapon does force damage.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll just force him down the hole. That's not what happens.
I thought with force damage you would actually be able to move an object.
No,
Not
unless
like-
it says it.
Not
It's
like
just called that. That's not a. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
That was.
So what is
That was rough.
then what is force exactly?
Think of blunt force impact.
so
Maybe. I always
moving
thought of it as
something.
like.
No,
you know, like what
you know how when
football
you
players
watch,
do to that thing when you move the thing.
You know how when you watch like Marvel and DC shows, and nobody ever uses like regular guns. So like, but like whatever like the beams people get hit with, just all seem to be like the same kind of idea. Like it's never lethal, but it's like really powerful. It can like hurt Superman,
And move
but it
him
won't
back?
kill like some guy.
You see where I'm getting here? That's what I thought. It was like some sort of force that pushes and I guess
Listen,
not.
I always feel like that's
I agree, but that's not what the rules say.
Wait, do force beads send people flying?
Rules. We don't
Force
need
beads actually encapsulate people within a bubble.
Well, see. So the word force just in this world.
I mean,
doesn't
could
mean
be
it
anything.
explodes. It essentially just boom explodes and then like puts everything inside of a bubble.
It
So
could
they
also
take a
mean
lot
that
of
you
damage,
rolled a
so-
bunch of dice and a few of them landed on 4.
I think
Fours.
we're playing.
Outstanding.
Force damage.
I think you're.
force breath.
Force breath.
You never know what it's gonna mean. I don't know. It just could mean anything.
If each of the 4 horsemen breathe at the same time, force
Force
breath.
damage. Yeah, force breath.
I think it's a sandbox, and we should make a rule that it does move.
Tristan.
Well, I think
You could have just pushed
your
it.
breath. Yeah.
You have that
I
option.
can't touch him.
You can't touch him.
I couldn't touch him.
Yeah, dude, he's like
I see
squishy and
why.
stuff.
I
Well,
see.
remember, you guys did touch him at first. You put a hand on his shoulder.
It was a weird
And
conversation.
then you tackled him.
Yeah,
and
but
neither
I-
of you took damage from it.
You need a
Because
shovel.
we rolled though
got a
to
shovel.
not take damage.
No, you guys
Right?
never rolled a save on those.
So
you
do
sure?
you decide if we get hurt if we touch you?
No. Well,
Yeah, 'cause
yes.
then you
I'm
wouldn't-
assuming it's
then
like
you
a
wouldn't-
defense
why'd you hurt
mechanism.
Rumgar?
Yeah, why'd you almost kill Rumgar?
It's because
Yeah,
what I
poor
was
kid.
what I was
What do
doing
you have
there.
against 2-year-olds?
Everything.
Green people.
What I was doing there essentially was a grapple. He has a special grapple where instead of just grabbing someone, it starts to pull them inside of him. So that's what that was. So with him grappling Rumgar to try to also protect him, he didn't know that he would just, having fully formed his body around him, he would just start coming in on him. He had no clue that was going to happen.
Okay,
But
so
you
if-
guys, like, putting a hand on the outside or just like touching it, pushing him, or whatever, he still has. I think Tristan explained that he had like almost like a membrane on the outside that functioned as skin.
Kind of like when you put your hand on water and you go like this, and your hand doesn't go. You have to. What is it called? That you have to break.
There is a word
Veil?
for that. Surface tension?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Break the veil.
Yeah,
So you have surface tension.
basically,
Or like
yeah.
literally jelly. Like you could smack the mess out of some jelly.
So if I just so if I try to push you down, if I
So
try
what
to
you're
push
saying
you
is we
down a
should've
hole
pip
you didn't want to
slapped.
go down.
I could have absolutely gotten put like unless. I
didn't want to go.
I think by like rules as written, I don't think the shove action is like a contested grapple. It's just you would try to hit me. That's what it would be, and it would push me back. So like if I'm not grappling you back, I would have absolutely just gotten pushed, and I could have fallen. But of course,
I
Next
think
time
it is
now I
actually
know.
contested. But
Is
I
it
don't-
contested?
Yeah, because it's the same as a grapple where the one person. Sorry, we're getting into the D&D rules here now. Well, the RPG rules here, but the guy pushing would do an athletics check, and it has to be athletics, and then the person trying not to be pushed would be doing their choice of athletics strength or acrobatics dexterity. But it's the same like general rule as grabbing.
Yes.
Which
Anyway.
you're good at? Is that the idea? Like your character, or do they automatically just not
no,
People can't grapple
it's just my race is good at grappling.
good at? Okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, I almost died. Then you died. Almost died.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Rumgar almost
And
died.
I almost died, and then Rumgar.
And then-
no,
oh, yeah,
excuse me.
then
Then we went
Cleave
downstairs to
almost died.
find that Oz almost died,
Yes.
and then I helped him out, and then
You
I
found the
almost
Teenage
died.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of whom
that's
had
wild.
already almost died.
Right.
And then he threw another one, which almost died. And then Rumgar almost died.
Do you think anything's gonna come of those turtles?
I
Soup.
hope so.
Do you
I
think it
like
was
to
just
so.
like a Easter egg, or do you think
Did you say
that
soup?
Soup.
that
Probably an Easter egg.
you don't think that
I
they're
know
gonna become?
that I know that Tristan was saying, yeah, this
It
was
was
We're
the
gonna come
last-
back
it was
as
a last
mutated
minute thing.
turtles.
Tristan,
Oh my god.
Tristan was that would be awesome because that's actually already a race. That's so
Literally.
good. Oh man. And we've
They're all
already met one
monks.
too.
They're
There
all
was one
monks.
in our original town. The old guy was Pappy. Pappy's
Yes,
no
that's
way.
right.
That's
Turtle.
actually pretty good.
That's so funny.
Dude,
That'd
I know
be
that for Tristan,
hilarious.
it was like happy accident where like things that were on the map that he downloaded had like a pizza already on it, and like he had already decided there would be turtles, and then he realized that the main guy's a rat, and he was like, well, that's just.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I have to.
He's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
yeah.
It's like as it unfolded, he just started like adding stuff. He was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll have markings. One's blue, one's orange, one's red, one's purple.
That's amazing. I love those Easter eggs like that.
But he can still make more of it. I don't know. Shoot, that's up
Who
to him.
knows? Who knows? They're in some mutating weird green goo. So
That's literally how you guys, if you know Ninja Turtles lore like we do, man.
How it all started.
That's how you
So-
create a primordial being, isn't it?
Mutating green goo and a turtle?
I don't
Never
know.
know.
I don't know.
Next Titan.
So you guys entered through this like sewage pipe, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yep. Like
Yes,
Mario,
we did
like
walk through
Mario
the-
and
Yes.
Luigi.
Bloop, 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 bloop. And when you entered, you saw this giant gelatinous cube, giant jelly that was trying to attack you guys. That was a stressful fight for me to watch from the sidelines.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was just like
was.
sitting cross-legged on the ground over there.
I was like, well, not even. I wasn't there. I was at home.
The first part was at home.
Yeah,
Next week,
I was
yeah,
at home. I was like,
Yeah.
this is stressful. They're like dying.
Yep.
They are
It
dying.
did not go well for
Yeah.
us for a long time.
The fact that Cleave almost died. He was in. I'm like,
I misunderstood the map.
this is going to be complicated when I get back. And then Rumgar
I'm like, I want to go that way on the map.
sacrificed
Tristan's
himself.
like, there's a cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Rumgar sacrificed himself to push you out.
That was tough.
That was. I don't know how else you would have gotten out.
No, I would have died. for
You
sure.
would have died.
I would have died.
I think you would have died.
I was done.
So
I had already used my like wake back up ability and all that. It was
yeah. So that was really interesting how it all panned out, and then Flan coming in and becoming a giant jelly too, to absorb this other jelly. Like it was just this. It was a weird episode.
It was.
It was a
I
weird
tried to
episode.
hurt you. You killed me. Arlyn killed you. Then you come and save our lives. And
Yeah.
you save Oz's life.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
There was a couple
Or
ways.
decided not to kill him. I guess it's the same as saving his life. I guess.
Indeed.
Kind of.
There was a
That's
couple
how I
of ways
feel
that
when
things
all the
could've
people
gone.
around me continue to live. I'm basically saving your lives by just choosing not to kill them.
Okay. All right, Dad.
You're welcome.
All right, Dad.
But yeah, there was a couple ways that could have gone, and it was just really that he was so pretty new to the world, and there were these guys that he thought he could trust because they said so once, and then they turned on him. And then they killed him, kind of, and then brought him back in the place that he didn't want to be. He was terrified. He was just like, oh, what do I do? So he was just at that point following orders. He's like, yep, all right, I'll do what you're saying. No. So that's why he left and went with Arlyn to the guild, and then he heard the call for him back. He's like, okay, and just like ran back. And he was just trying not to be dead again, is what it really was. And yeah, so that's why he ended up. Yeah, and he saw that opportunity after, was it you that put the water on him at first? Or somebody put some water on him, made him grow a little bit?
I still want to use more of that stuff. I think that's so cool. It's just acid I can water bend. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Acid bending.
Yeah.
Love it.
Seeing that kind of worked, that's why immediately when he said to go help out, he's like, all right, I guess this is the only thing I can really try to do, because he also had just been brought up with only 1 HP. So he was just like, it's all or nothing. Like, I'm not going to get into a straight up fight with this thing. I'm going to try to absorb it. Yeah. It was just...
And it worked.
It worked.
That was a contested one, too.
Yeah. That was one of my most shocking natural 20s I've ever had.
Yeah.
I've been playing
Yeah, that was so
TTRPGs
high stakes,
for
man.
years.
Oh, that
was crazy.
That was wild. And
I was sweating.
So here's the question. So, as Flan, you had the choice. You were going to spit out Rumgar anyways. You had the choice whether to kill Oz or keep him alive. And you chose to spare his life. Mm-hmm. What came from that decision?
There was a moment earlier where I had actually rolled on it to see which way the fear would sway Flan.
Oh.
And part of that was kind of trying to decide, like, how is that going to impact his inherent mission that he feels that he's led to do, which is unite people also. So, I mean, some fear, brought some good as well. He decided that he didn't want to be like that. He didn't want to just destroy, because he just now felt what being murderized was. And so even though...
Murderized.
I want to thank you for using that word. We have a very common, like, we take each other's words in our lives, like, forever, and I feel like that was a Joel word, and I really like. I love you. I love you. He's my cousin.
And so in that, it was kind of just that final moment of, like, I'm not forgiving this guy, but I will let him live. I'm not gonna just, he's already weak. I'm not just gonna eat him just for the sake of doing it. And then also there are other things happening too, with his son going into the water and just so many things. He had gained more knowledge in that moment as well after absorbing the thing. It was just, there's a lot happening. He's like, all right, release him and continue the mission. Yeah.
Lovely. So, what was the full send-off of Flan? I forget exactly what it was that was decided for him to continue doing. I believe he stayed.
He stayed Oz's prisoner.
Sewer. He stayed Oz's prisoner.
He just tried to convince him that he was not.
Yeah.
No.
It was the whole thing.
What he did, I remember the last thing he said was, definitively told everyone was like, how about this? I'll tell you guys that I'll be back, and you just have to trust me now.
Yeah.
Because
I like that.
his trust had been broken, already. And he didn't really see a way of getting out of that. Admittedly, he felt so much stronger in that moment. Like, are you guys going to stop me? You just got decimated by my grandson, and now I am my grandson. So...
Villain arc.
So...
Villain arc?
Well, that answers my question you didn't want to answer.
Oh, no.
But no, that's why he chose the high road. He's like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And so he was just trying to... he was just trying to get out of there because he realized the very real threat of his spawn that was out there. And so he's like, hey, are you guys going to, in all of that conversation was kind of like, are you guys going to do something about this? Is the guild going to do something about this? I guess I'm the most capable one. I can go and squish my way down there. I'll do something about this.
Yeah, and then once he molds with his other spawn, he gets more knowledge of what he really is, which is the World Eater.
And the ultimate villain of the Four Horsemen, Flan.
Can I ask just like character sheet like questions? Like, first of all, were you in fact higher level than us? Were you like strong?
One whole level.
Well, I mean that's twice our level. That's,
Yeah.
that's like
That's a good point.
Yeah,
pretty strong.
one level higher.
Are we still level 1?
Yeah.
We are still
Yes, we
level
are.
1.
You guys are scaredy
7
cats. I like
months
being
later,
level 1. I
This
like
is
I like
very
the
rough.
fear.
Well, that's why that was so devastating to me too, because that spell I had used, I think, was just like a first level spell against you, and then 12 HP. I forgot you guys were level 1. So
I talk a big talk.
That was a big
That's
hit.
about it.
Yeah.
We all do. We all do.
What is it? A glass cannon? Is that what is it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Is that
we're
what
like
it's
you're easy to
Yeah.
harm, but also easy to harm others.
Yep. That's me. There goes my tail.
Yeah, no. At this point,
There
like,
goes my tail.
I don't use anything but good berry anymore because everybody's harmed all the time. We're just always so hurt.
True.
That's all I do.
Yeah, because
good
we're
berry.
like one shot away from dying.
Yeah.
But we should have like necklaces of good berries, just so we go into battle. We're like,
Yo.
Do they go bad?
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, they
that.
last one day.
Oh.
You only get one day, but it's not like we always use them all.
So
Can you-
is
can you
are
make
they
grape
like
berries?
in a way like Arendor's mana?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's his limbus bread and his mana. No,
Love
that's
it.
cool.
Love it. So, in the meantime, while you guys were dealing with all of that, Arlyn had a dream with Arendor, who...
That was on Martin Luther King Day too, right? Or like the next day.
Yeah, that was.
Arlyn had a dream.
Had a dream, Joe.
That's so rough.
Oh, no.
I think it was. I'm just saying.
Yeah, true. So he had a dream from Arendor that Arendor essentially had him choose whether to gain his racial traits, but his body.
Don't use the word
could-
racial in the "I Have a Dream" episode.
Listen, Flan stayed a slave to Osmanthus.
yeah. And Rodrick is a
Flan did
slave
integrate.
to Arlyn.
He integrated.
That's pretty good, man. We made progress.
Arlyn had a dream to gain his racial traits back. That he had experienced. Joel's leaving. That he had experienced in the very, very beginning when he was shocked by that by the mural, and he wasn't able to tap into those powers anymore. The only issue was Arendor warned him his body could not take the power that he would be holding, and therefore he gained some damage and was completely out of it for quite a while, trying to heal himself and trying to compose himself. He still has yet to try and trigger some of those powers, but guess we'll see in the next episode to see if he tries and it works. And hold on. Tristan says, the BBEGs of the Four Horsemen are just the Four Horsemen. The big bad evil guys. That is true. We are our own worst enemies. So after that, he was able to reach composure and team up with the rest of the group, where we went to go rest once more and get ready for finally going out and finding these sandwalkers, where we found 3 of them, and we failed on the 4th, and we are now out of fruit, I believe.
Yeah. Wait, no, I think
and-
we have one more, right?
Do we have one more?
I thought we used the last. No, we used the last one, and,
Oh,
and,
yes.
we caught one. Yeah,
She
exactly.
got the third one.
So that's how we
Correct.
now have 3.
Because we
out
failed
of
the
4.
last one. And so we brought them back, and Oz is basically said he could help us out to create like a carrot on a stick type of contraption to lead these sandwalkers through the desert, through the scent of the food that they're after, so they don't trail off or anything like that. Now, that being said, that is where we ended
We did
those
sleep. That was
sessions.
very important to me. I needed that.
Yeah, we needed to sleep.
we got.
I think we've
I
only
usually
had 2
complain-
long sleeps since we started this campaign.
And we had and then we had the cheat one too. We had the one where you automatically got a long rest from the.
Oh,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
checkpoints.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our save checkpoint.
Our save point.
Well, and then when we started the stream, like the portion that actually was going live, we had just
We
had
had
a
that
long rest,
first
but that
sleep.
was like
Yes.
we were waking up for the first time. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is where we are now. We're finally on our way out into the desert, and we are trying to roam the deserts with 3 sandwalkers and fruits on a stick in front of them to try and guide these untrained beasts of the desert. And Tristan had a question. There are 4 of us and only 3 sandwalkers. Who is sharing a sandwalker?
come on, come on.
I think we know that one.
I think
And
it's
I think we
Calagon
know
and
who's
Cleave.
sitting up front.
Who?
I have a tail, so I'd have to sit in the back.
Otherwise, you would sit on your tail.
I'd be sitting on his tail.
horribly
Yeah, it'd be tough.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it'd be like there's a lot going on. There's like a saddle. And
Terribly
yeah, it's
uncomfortable.
not good.
So now we know that Cleave and Calagon are the ones sharing the single sandwalker, while Rodrick and Arlyn each have a sandwalker of their own. And we will see where this leads us. We're on our way to, what is it, Gracht? Right? To
Thank
the
you for everybody
Orcish village
To find Gene Canito.
to find, is that
out
where
of
we're going to
character,
Gracht?
guys? You just wait. I'm gonna find a way to in character
is-
still be innocent, but I
It
will
is
kill
to
him.
find Gene Canito.
Gene
Well,
Canito.
and
That
that
sounds like a
character.
Jedi.
Well, anyways,
Gene
hopefully
Canito.
we find Gene Canito, even though Joel wants him terribly dead
I'm gonna get rid of him. He won't make
because
it
of,
out of there.
because of the reference. But we have to find Gene Canito and bring him back to the Vindrel dynasty, where we will essentially finish our very first quest.
And we have 4 days to do it, right? We have to do it by the time he gets back from...
Is that what he
I
said?
didn't know we had a time limit like that. Is that?
I
Yeah.
didn't know he had to wait a time.
Yeah,
limit.
Tristan, help me out here. He said he was leaving. The one that gave us the instructions. Who was that? The
that-
the
was
head
that
of the
Ivan?
Visual Dynasty.
It was what's his name? Was it Evandil?
Evandil.
Oh, that's right. The
Ambassador? The ambassador.
Yes.
Yes.
Evandil. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then he said that he's going to be back in 5 days or something like that.
Oh,
We
I
were
didn't
doing-
know we had it. 1 week from when he left. Ah, yes.
Well, it's only been a
Tristan
day.
just
Thank you,
said 1 week
Tristan.
from
It's
when he
been a
left.
day, so we have 6 days?
We
So
have
we got 6 days to do it.
yes. We
Yeah.
have.
Okay.
So
we're
we
starting-
must go find Gene Canito and bring him back. He is what, the archaeologist?
Yeah, of some
Or-
sort.
It was
Something like that?
I have it in
Like
my notes.
he likes finding
It
hidden
was an
treasures and
something
stuff.
like
Or wait,
Gotcha.
no, yeah, wasn't it
Along
like
those
that cave was
lines.
being? He wants to be like.
It was like a crack in the earth, and then he fell in.
Well,
or
I think he
something.
heard that other
Disappeared.
people were getting farther into the cave or something like that, right?
Mm.
And he wanted to be like the one that
He just
discovered.
was never found after that.
Yeah. Well,
So, we will see if the 4 horsemen can find Gene Canito and bring him back to Evandil of the Vindrel dynasty. This is essentially the first quest, the first official quest by the 4 horsemen, with only 3 steeds for now.
in a
And
daily.
and hopefully we get a 4th that we can trade for some proper horses after this desert expedition, and see where that takes us from here on out.
Really quick, before we end this, I did want to call Tristan and ask him one question.
Oh,
He is going for it. All
I
right.
guess we're going for the landline.
Right up into the
I'm
mic.
going for the landline on Tristan.
Tristan, you are live. Can you say hello?
Yeah, sound like Babu Freak. I love that guy.
Tristan, we've all been answering questions today for about 2 hours almost. I have one question for you.
Okay.
Is your refrigerator running?
When will we get to level 2?
Yes.
That is the question.
I guess it is.
So-
I guess it is.
After you successfully recreate the entire bastion that the Dragos Dominion tore down recently, you guys will achieve.
I'm not gonna
Level
lie,
2.
finishing Bastions
Level
would be a good.
2? We have to.
No, as a level 1, we have to.
You guys just have to tame the creature that they
What?
use
Oh, yeah.
it as the next property item of the Four Horsemen, and then you guys are
Next
set.
property.
Okay,
item.
so gain control of an ancient primordial that
Yeah, for sure.
pretty much like
For
can
sure.
lay waste to the entire continent by itself.
As level
And then
ones.
we become level 2. So then I get probably 16 hit points instead of 10.
The continent, physically speaking, but not to the continent as like a people group, because we know that the Four Horsemen obviously are super powerful, and of course Rodrick being the most powerful of them.
And plot
should
armor.
be able
Plot
to
armor,
one
of
hit.
course.
He should be able to one-shot this thing. So you just need to call upon the masses and summon up your faithful fans.
Your
and-
shadow fans.
Well,
Well, I
maybe
have a tattered net, so
maybe
You have chains.
fine.
You have some
I've spoken
chains
to his fans
from your
in a
dad.
while, but-
actually true. I should try to invoke my fans for something. It's been a hot minute. Literally a hot minute. We've been stuck in the desert for a while.
You're going to use them like the army of the dead in Lord of the Rings? Or
Yes, dude. If I could have that moment, I would cry.
Thanks,
All right,
Tristan.
Tristan, thank you for joining us.
I'll be
and,
sick next week.
Do you want
it
to?
could.
Do you want to actually point us out?
I'm sorry?
Do you want to point us out? Just
What does he do?
end tonight's insight check.
to end it via phone call here.
Yes.
Go for
All
it.
right. Well, guys, get hyped because next session is going to be incredible. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to be exciting. It's going to answer a lot of questions. I'm very curious, as always, to see what happens with the Four Horsemen themselves and their 3 mounts, the 3 mountmen. But as always, we love you all. God bless, and have a great week.
All right. See you guys next week.
Later.
Same time.
Great job, Tristan.
Wild.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is David Gomez, and I play Rodrick in the Four Horsemen campaign for Divine Inspiration, and I also play Khan in the Breaking the Veil campaign for Divine Inspiration. And I just wanted to get on here and say a couple of encouraging words, and also something that's kind of been on my mind lately, and it made me go into the Word and actually look for more information about it. So I have 2 kids, well, 1 on the way, so 3, but 2 little girls, and they've been obsessed with the movie Frozen lately, and all they do is run around the house acting like Elsa and Anna. I have my oldest that'll be like, hey, I'm Elsa and you're Anna, and then they like to kind of take on the role of these characters. She spins around with her ice powers and does all that stuff. And I was watching them the other day and I was thinking, like, this game of pretend that they like to play, we do it as adults all the time, but for kind of more serious situations, like we'll pretend to be something that we're not, or we'll view somebody and try to emulate that when it's not actually what we're called to emulate. So I was like, I'm very curious about what the Word says about that, and I found something here in Romans 12:3. I'm going to read it to you. It says, "For by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think with sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith that God has assigned. For as in one body we have many members, and the members do not all have the same function. So we, though many, are one body in Christ, and individually members of one another. Having gifts that differ according to the grace given to us, let us use them." And then it goes on to speak about if prophecy in proportion to our faith, if service and serving, and whatnot. And I just wanted to tell you to hold on to what makes you you. Sometimes the things that make us different from other people are the gifts that God has instilled in us so that we can bring about his kingdom here on earth. So just go ahead and ruminate on that for the rest of your week. And this has been Divine Inspiration.